case for liberty. The last few weeks have been riddled with fomenting fear and its commensurate panic. The virulent stripping away of heretofore freedoms, oft taken for granted, is nightmarish to many and undetected by others. Along with these measures, there have been pronouncements for automaton acceptance of a new normal without question, to save just one life, as the saying goes. But whose lives are being saved, and at what cost of who else's lives? How do we measure the value of one life as more precious than another? In all of this, a disregard for our very founding principles is somehow now considered humanitarian and selfless. Yet, there still must be a case for liberty. It appears in the days of these incessant cries for alarm, although those touting the need for extreme measures are themselves apparently excluded, that reason, valid data, and logic have all but vanished. Is this due to inherent human fear or prescribed emotional manipulation of public opinion by those who benefit the greatest? As the adage goes, control public opinion and you control public policy. It has been stated even of late by a World Health Organization figure that liberty, especially the homegrown citizenry as sovereign version upon which our country was founded, is dangerous at best. The contention being that self-governance is of such a hindrance to a harmonious global community, it requires a long-awaited snuffing out. This liberty has the audacity to run counter to progressive agendas of selective tolerance, that is, tolerance for all except those who disagree with their impending agenda. So here we are, a nation, the USA, birthed from the very blood and sacrifice of liberty, now being scolded and slandered for such outrageous demands that the Constitution, including the Bill of Rights, be honored and adhered to by those in governance. It appears in much of the media, law enforcement, and politics, such an expectation is deemed not only selfish, but deadly. Let's examine the truth of such a stance. Yes, liberty is assuredly deadly to totalitarianism, including socialism, communism, as well as oligarchies, monarchs, and dictatorships of every ilk. Individual liberty stands in the way of one-size-fits-all in education, business, science, medicine, law, home ownership, parenting, and even one's choice of food, sport, and exercise. In the eyes of the self-appointed born-to-rule pseudo-elites, liberty must be done away with like a long-forgotten photograph of the past, yellowed and dog-eared. But this liberty that undergirds all American society for its value of the individual will not be easily silenced nor eliminated. Individual liberty, as so eloquently stated in the Declaration of Independence, is not mankind's to dole out nor rescind. This liberty is inherent in the human soul and founded on God's value for the very creation he formed. It will continue to be defended by the very people it has so profoundly blessed. Defended to the death, as Patrick Henry declared, "Give me liberty or give me death." This is America's inheritance. If we as a nation succumb not to a foreign-born virus, but to a desire for a false sense of security and its concomitant requirement for extreme state control, liberty will be relegated to a faint memory for children and grandchildren to recall in fairy tale fashion of the good old days as told by their elders. For the fragility of liberty and its requirement for courage is a daunting responsibility for every generation. If the baton of liberty slips from our hands and is not grasped firmly by this generation, it will be buried along with truth, justice, and inalienable rights. We will transform into a 1984-like nation of snitches, sneaks, and sycophants with little care for our neighbor, friend, or in the end, even family. Survival will be the driving force and ultimate goal. Liberty, along with those who espouse its value and defend its presence, will be smeared, slandered, mocked, and subsequently punished. Liberty itself will become a prisoner of the state. America, America, stand up. Remember from whence you came. The birth of a nation to be a city on a hill, a land free from persecution, a land filled with hope, where the value of the individual was esteemed, along with hard work, perseverance, innovation, forbearance, and courage. Yes, this nation has its share of ample flaws, but as each individual has gifts, talents, dreams, hopes, and abilities, they also possess characteristics less than lofty, requiring transformation. America, return to your origin of liberty, birthed by the blood of patriots, and begin again as a nation breathed into life by the recognition of inalienable God-given rights, whose by her very existence inspires those who are oppressed, enslaved, and dominated by their rulers. If you fail, America, the world fails with you. It is for this reason I appeal to the people of the United States to recommence forming a more perfect union for the present and future generations. Neglect not the inheritance bestowed upon you, America, to ensure the next generation retains the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The baton is now yours to defend and pass on.